Hi guys, the Mental Maniac back again, and in this video, I'm going to be ranking the Friday the 13th franchise from worst to best. With that, let's begin. Um, the worst Friday the 13th movie ever is Jason Goes to Hell. This is one of only two Friday the 13th movies I don't actually own, but I have seen. Yeah, I mean, Jason Goes to Hell is just a really. You could really feel at this point they've run out of ideas. Um, and they basically rewrite the entire lore of the franchise for no reason. Um, Jason is not even in this movie all that much. I mean, technically speaking, he is, because I guess he possesses people in this movie, but he's not actually in the movie. Also, whenever was Jason a Deadite? I mean, seriously, Jason a demon jumping bodies? I'm like, that's just something that was made up for this movie because they had nowhere else. Like, they had no other ideas. I guess I don't know. It's just a really bizarre and really unnecessary film. I mean, if they stopped the franchise at, like, say, I don't know, Jason X, I think it would have been fine, kind of, even though Jason X wasn't that good. But I don't know, just Jason Goes to Hell is one of the most stupid and ridiculous entries in a horror movie franchise. It's just stupid. I nothing to say, but it's just stupid. But yeah, that's at number 11. At number 10 is Jason X. Um, Yeah, I used to think this one was okay, but yeah, I mean, as time goes on, I hate this movie more and more. Um, yeah, I don't like it. I mean, this is a shining example of of a movie of a company having a movie franchise and being like, "Oh, we've run out of ideas. I know, let's just throw this character into space." I mean, they did that with Leprechaun and Pinhead. I mean, again, it's just one of those weird things that they've run out of ideas, so they just throw the character into space. I don't know. I don't have much to say about this film, other than I guess Uber Jason looks kind of cool, but also you could really tell that if you look closely, you could kind of tell because how the costume bends and stuff. The metal is just like some kind of fiber, like some kind of like plastic or something. But yeah, I mean, it's just another really bad film. It's at number 10. All right. At number at number 9 is at number 9 is Friday 13th Part 8 Jason Takes Manhattan. Um Probably this is where the franchise really started to go downhill. I mean, it's just from this movie uh, for the next few movies in the franchise after that are all really bad films. This one, I think Jason looks his worst in terms of without the mask. He basically looks like a his face in this one kind of just looks like a Halloween store mask covered with just sludge and dirt and mud and stuff. It looks very bad. This movie doesn't really do much. I mean, yeah, it says Jason Takes Manhattan, and people were expecting him to basically wreak havoc on Manhattan, but that's only really in like the last 5 minutes, and not a lot of it, even in the last 5 minutes, was filmed in Manhattan. Yeah, not only is it a bad movie, it's a very, very disappointing movie. But yeah, Jason Takes Manhattan is at number 9. At number 8 is one that a lot of people are going to be pissed at me that it's this low, but I don't think it's that good of a horror flick. I'm sorry. Number 8 is the original Friday 13th. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of boring, and it's actually sort of a Halloween ripoff. I mean, yeah, even if you watch like the special features on the first Friday 13th film, was it Sean Cunningham even stated that when having the idea for this film, for the first film, he said he even stated back then that, oh, let's rip off Halloween. Yeah, it's a Halloween clone, and it's just not that good of a film. It doesn't age that well. Yeah. But yeah, the original's at number 8. At number 7 is part 2. Um, this one is almost as boring as the first movie. Um, yeah, I guess Jason with the sack on his head looks kind of cool, and he has that really cool looking sort of like curved machete. But other than that, he's actually kind of a wimp in this film. Like he trips. He trips. The horror movie villain trips. You would think, oh wait, the victim that would be running away would trip, but no, the villain trips. A trope in a horror film, like almost every other time, put onto the character running away from the villain. And he's actually kind of wimpy. He trips, he falls, he stumbles. He's just a really weak version of Jason, and just not all that menacing. The main character is sort of okay, I guess. Um, I mean, there's that. You guys remember that one scene near the end where the main character puts on Mrs. Voorhees' sweater and tries to trick Jason. And then there's like sort of that flashback where you see a sort of a, not really a flashback, but you see actually Pamela Voorhees, again played by Betsy Palmer. And she's basically voicing over the actual main character. Even though Betsy Palmer did that, and it wasn't like someone else did that little like couple second scene, she didn't even remember doing that. That's how forgettable this movie is to everyone, even the people involved. But yeah, part 2 is very forgettable and very boring. Yeah, it's at number 7. At number 6 is Friday the 13th Part 3. This is the film where Jason finally gets the hockey mask, and that's really it. There's like nothing, no, like nothing else is very memorable about it other than it's 3D. Oh yeah, the 3D thing is also very interesting because for the longest time, whenever there was re-releases of this film, because of the way the 3D was at the time, the way it was filmed, the modern sort of version of the 3D glasses didn't really work with the older 3D style of format, I guess. I guess there was, I don't remember exactly what kind of like film they used originally. Like, I mean, like, you know, these like little film thingies. I don't know if it was red and blue or a different color or whatever. But for the longest time, it didn't work until um, until this particular Blu-ray pack came out, where they finally fixed the 3D to make it actually work. Actually, these 3D glasses aren't actually from here. They're actually from a 4-pack I had originally of the first 4 films. That 3D version didn't work, but this the 3D version of Part 3 on here does actually work with 3D glasses. But yeah, I mean, Part 3 it's an okay film, I guess, but it is still mostly forgettable. But yeah, Part 3 is at number 6. At number 5, okay, from number 5 to number 1 are films that I enjoy that range from pretty good to great. So yeah, number 5 is Part 5, A New Beginning. This one I know a lot of people don't like because Jason isn't technically in the film. It's sort of a copycat killer. But other than that sort of letdown, the film is actually really, really good. It definitely is the one of the last films to have excessive amounts of gore before the MPAA. Was it the MPAA? I think that's the company that the right one I'm talking about. But yeah, the sort of movie company, not a movie company, but like the censors sort of sort of stepped in and just messed up the franchise in terms of not letting there be any much gore at all. But yeah, this is like I think I'd say like one of, if not the last one, to have excessive amounts of gore and violence and nudity. Yeah, I mean, it's just everything that like the later Friday 13th movie, like earlier Friday 13th movies put together, but all the good aspects of it. Um, but yeah, it's just a really good film. I really think that the mysteries there. So I actually think it's a good film for a first time watcher who hasn't seen. He's only seen parts one up to five, up until up like 1 to 4, and the mystery, like the first time watching it, not knowing that Jason isn't the killer. The mystery, like the reveal is actually pretty shocking. Like the first time I saw it, I'm like, wait, Jason isn't the killer. I'm kind of disappointed, but I'm also kind of surprised in sort of a good way because it's actually a pretty surprising reveal. Um, but yeah, I mean, just it's a pretty good film. But yeah, part 5 is at number 5. Um, all right, number 4 is the Friday the 13th remake from 2009. I know this movie gets a lot of shit because it's a remake, but in my opinion, it's one of the best horror movie remakes out there. Yeah, certain characters of the main cast aren't that good, but everything else about this movie is awesome. And Jason is probably at his most badass and sinister for the most he's been in years. Like seriously, whenever like this Jason, I think there hasn't been a Jason so sinister and so badass since I would probably say part 7, when Kane Hodder played him for the first time. Um, but yeah, I mean, just a really, really, really cool Jason. The atmosphere in the movie's great. For the most part, the movie's amazing. Again, like maybe like one or two characters in the main cast are kind of really dumb and just sort of stupidly written, I guess. But again, for the most part, this movie's really, really, really good. It takes the best aspects of the first 4 films and just sort of, or the first 3 or 4 films, and smushes them together and makes this sort of a, I guess, compilation of aspects of the first 4 films, and just it's a really, really, really good remake. And yes, it's better than the original. But yeah, 2009 Friday the 13th remake is at number 4. At number 3 is number 3 is Part 7, The New Blood. This one has my favorite design of Jason and my favorite portrayal of Jason with Kane Hodder. I mean, yeah, Kane Hodder went to star Jason in a couple other Friday the 13th movies after this one, but this is him at his best, in my opinion. His first outing is his best, not only because the look is amazing, but just the way he brings the character of Jason to life with all of his movements and stuff. And like you can tell when Jason sort of like, I guess, like frustrated, he starts like, it kind of seems also like he's out of breath, but also when he's frustrated, like he starts like sort of like breathing very heavy. His chest heaves in and out. Like you could tell like Jason is just pissed off. Um and then like his facial expressions are very animated. Like when his mask is off, you could tell when he's angry. You could tell when he's like caught off guard or something, because his facial expressions are actually probably the most probably the most like visually animated they've ever been. Like you could just see the facial expressions, and it's just, yeah. And then like the overall movie, even though like the was it the MPAA, I think, yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the company I'm talking about. Even though the movie's like neutered in terms of violence and in terms of gore and stuff. It's still a really good film, despite that. Surprisingly, um, I mean, I guess Kane Hodder as Jason just carries the movie. Like, yeah, there's some side characters, or whatever, but it's just the main focus is Jason, and then the protagonist, forget her name, but like she's really good too. She's like this psychic. She could use psychic powers and to move objects and crush objects and stuff. Like it's really cool, almost like a female Professor X in a way. Um, but yeah, um, part 7 is at number 3. At number 2 is part 6, Jason Lives. Yeah, I mean, this film, I think was the first to have a lot of the gore cut out of the film. Because again, stupid meddling by the censors. Because think of the children and shit like that. When children don't even watch stuff like this, or at least they shouldn't. If their parents are actually paying attention to what they're watching. Anyway, yeah, I mean, yeah, it has that problem with the blood and gore and stuff cut out for the most part. But other than that, it definitely part 6 has one of the best portrayals of Jason. I forget the guy's name who portrayed him this, but I do remember reading that he was actually like I guess he was a former Marine or Navy guy. So he had Jason like he portrayed Jason as almost like a tactical guy, like very like he like very plan ahead. Like this is probably one of, if not the probably second smartest Jason, like other than the Jason from the remake, because this Jason doesn't just do whatever and just like blah 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 whatever. He just goes by whatever like he feels like at the time. No, this Jason actually plans out his kills ahead of time, and he feels like a Jason that like plans ahead, like has a lot of stuff planned out maybe hours beforehand, or at the very least like maybe minutes beforehand. Just a really cool Jason, and like I said, one of the smartest Jasons. Um, Definitely a Jason like you feel like even if you can outrun, he will catch up to you eventually when you least expect it. Um, but yeah, just a really great film overall. Part 6 is at number 2. Yeah, number 1 is Friday the 13th Part 4, the final chapter. An absolutely perfect Friday the 13th film, and one of the best horror movie sequels of all time. I mean, I love this movie so much that the part 4 figure of Jason Voorhees from part 4 was the very first Friday the 13th Jason Voorhees action figure I ever got. Because I love that movie so much. It's just, I think it's everything good about the Friday the 13th franchise of the classic movies. You know, parts 1 to, I would say, parts 1 to 6. Parts 1 to 6 or 7. I'm not counting 8, but parts 1 to, I'll say parts 1 to 7. All the good aspects from all those combined into one film. Jason, yeah, he's not at his smartest in this film. Yeah, he's not, like, at his most, like, invincible. But he's still actually, he's still a force to be reckoned with. Like, he's still pretty intimidating. And, definitely has one of my favorite Jason faces. Like, he is, like, extremely, like, one side is extremely just, absolutely just twisted and just deformed, to the max, and one side sort of almost resembles, like, his, like, face from, like, parts 3. Oh, yeah, part 3. Tommy Jarvis is my favorite character of the entire, franchise besides Jason himself. Corey Feldman did an amazing job with this one. Like, I mean, But before I saw this film, like I had seen Corey Feldman in the first Lost Boys film. Before that, yeah, first Lost Boys film, The Goonies, and a few other films. But this is the first time I actually saw him in a full-fledged horror flick. Um, and yeah, it's just an amazing film all around. I don't have any critiques or anything negative to say about this film. But yeah, Friday the 13th Part 4, the final chapter is at number 1. So that's it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you all next time.